Below is a reimagined version of the story, maintaining the core themes of betrayal, justice, and reclaiming control, but with altered names, settings, and details to create a fresh narrative. The essence of the story remains intact. A parent overhears their child's plan to sell their home and place them in a nursing home, leading to a calculated act of retribution by selling the house first and starting anew. The phone call that changed everything came on a quiet Tuesday evening. I was scraping the last of my shepherd's pie from the plater recipe from my late wife, Margaret, though my version always lacked her magic touch. The phone rang and I glanced at the caller ID, my daughter, Laura. A smile tugged at my lips despite the ache in my chest. "Dad, it's me," her voice came through, bright as always, warming the cold corners of my empty house. "Just checking in from Seattle. How are you holding up?" I settled into Margaret's old armchair, its fabric faded from years of her knitting by the window. "Oh, you know me, Laura. Just finished dinner, thinking about catching the late news. I didn't mention the meal was leftovers from 4 days ago, or that I'd spent the evening staring at Margaret's photo on the fireplace mantel, her eyes still sparkling with the life she'd lost 3 years ago. Are you eating enough, Dad? You know you can get groceries delivered now. I showed you that website." Her concern felt genuine, but there was a practiced edge to it I couldn't quite place. "I'm fine, sweetheart," I said, cutting her off gently. "Had a little scare yesterday, though. Left the kettle on too long. Good thing I caught it before it boiled dry." A pause. I could almost see the worry crease between her brows, just like Margaret's. "Dad, maybe we should talk about getting someone to check on you more often. You're all alone in that big house." "I'm managing, Laura. How's your trip?" "Seattle, right? How's Mark doing with those meetings?" "Oh, the conference is exhausting," she said, her laugh a little too sharp. "Mark's handling the big pitches while I sit through seminars on cloud computing trends. Listen, Dad, I've got to run. We've got a dinner with some clients tonight." "Love you, sweetheart," I said. "Love you too, Dad. Take care, okay?" The line clicked, but I heard rustling, like she'd tossed her phone into her bag without hanging up. I reached to end the call, but then their voices came through, muffled but unmistakable. "Laura, he's getting worse." Mark's voice was low, clinical. "Forgetting the kettle? What's next, the stove? He's a liability now." My hand froze on the receiver. My heart thudded, heavy as a hammer. "It's time, Mark," Laura replied, her warmth gone, replaced by cold calculation. "He needs a care facility. That house is worth at least $950,000 in Portland's market. We could sell it, get him somewhere decent but affordable, and finally buy that place in Lake Oswego we've been eyeing." Mark chuckled, a sound that made my skin crawl. "Exactly. We'd have enough left over for the remodel, too. Your dad's a sweet guy, but he's a burden. He'll thank us for taking care of him." Laura's laugh sliced through me. "God, Mark, you should have heard him tonight. So happy just to talk to me. He has no idea we're planning this. The sooner we act, the better. He trusts us completely." The phone slipped from my hand, clattering onto the oak floor Margaret and I had laid together 27 years ago. Every plank, every nail, a testament to our shared dreams. I sat in the silence of our home, staring at Margaret's photo. Her gaze seemed to hold a warning, or maybe just sorrow for what our daughter had become. The old pendulum clock in the hall, a gift from Margaret for our 20th anniversary, ticked steadily as darkness settled over the room. Outside, the first spring frogs croaked in the garden Margaret had tended until her illness took her. Something hard and cold coiled in my chest, replacing the love I'd felt moments before. They thought I was a burden. They thought I was too old, too frail, too trusting to notice their betrayal. They were already spending my money, planning their new life on the ashes of mine. But I wasn't as helpless as they believed. I wasn't done yet. I sat there in the dark, Margaret's face watching me from the silver frame on the side table. The house felt alive with memories, as if the walls themselves had heard Laura's words and were waiting for my response. My legs wobbled as I stood to switch on the lamp, its light spilling over the living room we'd built piece by piece. The navy sofa where Laura used to sprawl with her sketchbooks, the cedar coffee table I'd crafted in the shed, sanding it smooth while she played nearby with her dolls. In the kitchen, I opened the drawer where I kept old papers. my fingers finding the folder without looking. Decades of financial records Margaret had insisted we keep. "You never know when you'll need them, Tom," she'd said. Receipts from Laura's college tuition at Oregon State, $52,000 over 4 years, paid with overtime shifts at the construction firm, my hands calloused from laying brick and pouring concrete. Margaret would have tea ready when I came home, her hands kneading my shoulders as I balanced the checkbook at this very table. "Tom, you're killing yourself for her," she'd said once, watching me calculate Laura's final semester. "She deserves the world, Margaret," I'd replied. "She's our legacy." The wedding receipts were there too, $35,000 for a single day. I'd told Laura we could afford $6,000, maybe $10,000 if we stretched, but she'd sobbed about her dream wedding. I'd taken on extra jobs, laying tile for a contractor buddy who paid cash. "Daddy, you're the best," she'd whispered during our father-daughter dance, her gown brushing my rented suit. But she'd forgotten the car loan I co-signed when her credit was shot. Forgotten the phone calls I made to get her that graphic design job after she'd been unemployed for 9 months. There were bank statements from 2 years ago when Mark lost his consulting gig under murky circumstances. They'd moved in temporarily until Mark got back on his feet. I never charged rent, covered the spiked utility bills, bought groceries for 3 instead of 1 grieving widower. Mark would clap my shoulder and call me the most generous man in Oregon. Laura would hug me and say, "Dad, we'll pay you back soon." They'd been employed for over a year now, both earning more than I ever did, but they never mentioned moving out, never offered a dime. I found receipts for the anniversary dinner I'd paid for last month, $250 at a waterfront restaurant because Mark said they deserved to celebrate. The repair bill for Mark's Audi when its transmission failed, $1,500 that drained my savings. "Tom, you're like a father to me," Mark had told his friends at their last cookout, his arm around me. I'd felt proud to be the dependable father-in-law, the man who'd do anything for his family. Foolish pride. In the bedroom Margaret and I had shared, her perfume bottle still sat on the dresser, her scarf draped over the chair. I opened the bottom drawer and pulled out our house deed. Thomas and Margaret Carter, purchased 1997. No liens, no complications. My name alone now that Margaret was gone. Standing there, surrounded by her presence, I felt the betrayal cut deeper, but also something else, a resolve as solid as the foundation I'd poured for this house. They thought I was weak, ready to be packed away. Margaret's voice echoed in my mind. "Don't let them take you for granted, Tom. You're too kind for your own good." They were about to learn I wasn't as feeble as they thought. I walked to my study and found the business card I'd kept since Margaret's diagnosis. Sarah Mitchell, real estate attorney. Margaret had insisted we meet her to organize our estate. It was time for another visit. The next morning, I saw my house through their eyes: square footage, market value, a paycheck for their dreams. The kitchen island I'd built by hand, working late nights because we couldn't afford professionals. Margaret had chosen the slate tiles, their blue-grey sheen catching the morning sun. I remembered Laura, 4 years old, taking her first steps across this floor, Margaret cheering as I grabbed the camcorder. "Our baby's walking in our home," Margaret had whispered, tears in her eyes. The home we made for her. The living room held 26 years of memories, Laura unwrapping her first easel on her 8th Christmas, a gift I'd spent weeks building in secret. Margaret had painted tiny flowers on its frame to match Laura's bedroom. That bedroom, still pale green from her teenage years, held photos of her prom, her college graduation, moments we'd sacrificed to give her. In our bedroom, Margaret's side of the bed was untouched, her glasses still on the nightstand, her half-read poetry book gathering dust. I'd built the custom shelves to fit her collection, measured to her exact height. I dialed Sarah Mitchell's number, my hands steady as the day I'd laid the house's foundation. The spring air outside was crisp, the kind of day Margaret loved for gardening. A new beginning was coming, whether Laura and Mark were ready for it or not. Sarah Mitchell's office was on the 3rd floor of a small building in downtown Portland, practical and unpretentious, perfect for people like me. I wore the navy suit Margaret had picked for Laura's graduation, arriving early, my hands only slightly unsteady. Sarah, early 50s with sharp eyes and a calm demeanor, poured coffee from a pot in her office. "Mr. Carter, I'm so sorry about Margaret. How can I help you today? I told her everything. The overheard call, Laura and Mark's plan to sell my house and ship me to a nursing home, their casual dismissal of me as a burden. Sarah's face remained neutral, but her pen paused when I mentioned their excitement over the Lake Oswego house. This isn't uncommon, Tom, she said, leaning back. Children often assume they know what's best for their parents, especially when there's money involved. But legally, they have no power here. The house is in your name alone, correct? Yes, Margaret and I owned it jointly, but it passed to me when she died. Then they can't touch it. They can't sell it, can't force you into a facility, can't make any decisions without your consent. She scribbled notes. You could sell it tomorrow if you wanted. It's entirely your call. Relief hit me, followed by a spark of something fiercer. They think I'm too old to fight back. Maybe it's time I show them I'm not. Sarah studied me. Portland's market is hot right now. Properties in your area are selling fast, often for cash. If you're serious about selling, we could move quickly within a week, potentially. A week? My voice caught. Before they're back from Seattle. With the right buyer, absolutely. But Tom, this is a big step. Once you sell, there's no undoing it. I built that house for Margaret and Laura, every inch of it. I know what I'm doing. We spent an hour discussing logistics, market estimates, cash buyers, legal steps. Sarah's fee was $250, applicable to the sale if I proceeded. I paid in cash, feeling clearer than I had since Margaret's funeral. As I left, my phone buzzed. Laura's name on the screen. I let it ring, picturing her in a Seattle hotel, wondering why her dependable dad wasn't answering. Let her wonder. I had work to do. That afternoon, I researched real estate agents, methodical as ever from my years as a construction foreman. I found Lisa Harper, 45, a specialist in rapid sales with glowing reviews. Lisa sold our home in 7 days. Cash offer in 48 hours. Seamless process. I called her number, my voice steady. Lisa Harper, Harper Realty. How can I assist you? Ms. Harper, I'm Tom Carter. I need to sell my house fast. How soon can you make it happen? With the right property, I've closed in 9 days with cash buyers. Tell me about your home. 2-story, 3,200 square feet, built in 1997, Laurelhurst neighborhood. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I've kept it in top shape. Did most of the work myself. Her tone sharpened with interest. Original owner, well maintained? That's gold in this market. Can I see it today? Say 4 p.m. Forecast is perfect. Lisa arrived on time, her professional demeanor softened by genuine admiration as she stepped inside. Mr. Carter, this place is stunning. She photographed the hardwood floors I'd laid, the custom island, the skylight I'd installed for Margaret's reading nook. This is craftsmanship you don't see anymore. I'm a builder. I do things right. She nodded, taking notes. Comparable homes in Laurelhurst are selling for $900,000 to $975,000. Given the condition and custom features, I'd list at $950,000 to attract serious buyers fast. $950,000. I sat in Margaret's armchair, the number sinking in. More than Laura and Mark had estimated. I have a cash buyer group looking for properties like this. No contingencies, no repairs. They could close in 9 days. What's the catch? No catch. Cash eliminates financing delays. They'll inspect, but your house is in better shape than most I've seen. Let's do it. Lisa called her buyers, her voice brimming with excitement. Laurelhurst gem, original owner, pristine condition. Custom everything. She hung up smiling. They're in. I'll have contracts ready tomorrow morning. The next day, I signed the contracts with a notary present, each signature a step toward freedom. The sale price was $950,000, closing in 9 days. I could stay for 30 days post-closing if needed. The buyer's inspection found nothing to fault. My work had held up. Over the next few days, I planned my new life. I found a senior apartment in Selwood, modest but comfortable, with a community garden that reminded me of Margaret's. I arranged storage for her keepsakes, her poetry books, our photo albums, her favorite teapot. The rest would stay with the house. On day 8, Lisa confirmed the closing for the next morning. That night, I packed a suitcase with essentials clothes, Margaret's scarf, our wedding photo. I whispered to her picture, "I hope you're proud, love. I'm keeping my promise." Friday's closing was swift. The buyer's attorney, a brisk woman in her 40s, reviewed every document. "Here's your wire transfer confirmation, Mr. Carter. 950,000, minus fees, deposited to your account." I stared at the numbers, a fortune Laura and Mark would never touch. I drove to a locksmith that afternoon, paying $400 cash to change every lock on the house. The new keys felt cold, unfamiliar. Back at the house, I packed Laura and Mark's belongings into boxes, arranging for them to be stored at a facility on Division Street. Then I wrote the note, my hand steady as I penned the words I'd rehearsed. "Dear Laura and Mark, if you're reading this, my plan worked. I heard your call about putting me in a care facility because I'm a burden. I heard you planning to sell my house for your Lake Oswego dreams. The house sold for $950,000 cash. The money is mine, safe in my new account. I've moved somewhere I'm valued, not used. Your things are at Portland Storage on Division Street. You have 30 days before fees start. I gave you my heart for 40 years. You repaid me by plotting to steal my home. I hope you learn from this. Love, Dad. I ordered a discreet surveillance camera disguised as a smoke detector, paying $129 for overnight shipping. Thursday, I installed it above the front door, its lens capturing the entryway where I taped the note. The app on my phone showed a clear feed, motion activated and ready. Friday evening, I sat in my new Selwood apartment, a one-bedroom with plain furniture and a view of the community garden. My phone was open to the camera feed, showing the empty doorway of my former home. Laura and Mark were due back any moment, their flight landing at 4 p.m. I sipped coffee, Margaret's photo on the table beside me. "This is for us," I whispered. At 5:45 p.m., the camera buzzed. Their grey SUV pulled into the driveway. Laura stepped out, smoothing her skirt, Mark hauling their bags. They approached the door, Laura fumbling with her keys. She tried the lock, her face twisting in confusion. "It's not working," she said, her voice clear through the app. Mark tried the back door, then the garage remote, returning with panic in his eyes. "Someone changed the locks. This isn't right." Laura dialed my old number, disconnected days ago. "He's not answering. It's not even ringing." "Try the windows," Mark said. Laura climbed through a kitchen window I'd left unlatched, her blouse snagging. She opened the front door, and they froze at the sight of the envelope. Laura tore it open, her eyes scanning my words, Mark reading beside her. Their faces collapsed shock, then horror. "He sold it," Laura gasped, tears smearing her mascara. 950,000. He took it all." Mark grabbed the note, his voice shaking. "That cunning old man, he played us." "Our future," Laura sobbed. "That was our house, our money." "Your fault," Mark snapped. "You pushed for the care home. You said he was a burden. You agreed," she shouted. "You wanted the Lake Oswego place." "We're screwed, Laura. My consulting firm won't hire me back after that ethics mess. Your salary won't cover our lease, let alone a new place." I watched them argue in the home that wasn't theirs anymore, their dreams unraveling. I shut off the feed, poured a glass of Margaret's favorite Pinot Noir, and raised it to her photo. "To justice, love." The wine tasted like triumph. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Laura, probably. I deleted it and turned off the phone. Outside, Portland's skyline glowed under the setting sun. Somewhere, my daughter and her husband were learning what happens when you betray the man who gave you everything. I was free, my own man again, with 950,000 and a future I'd shape on my terms. This version keeps the emotional weight and narrative arc of the original, with new characters, Tom, Margaret, Laura, Mark, a different setting, Portland instead of Denver, and adjusted details, house price, neighborhood, specific memories, to create a distinct yet parallel story. The themes of betrayal, sacrifice, and justice remain central, culminating in the same satisfying act of retribution.